Yo, it's a Stupidly Small podcast. It's Tuesday, the 5th of July, 2016. It's Lauren's Gap Read. Hello, Lorin.
Hello, my Gap Week. How are you?
Well, I'm glad you explained that because I said Gap Read.
I know you did.
Yes. It's, I'm well, Lozzie.
Good,
How's
good,
your holiday
excellent.
going?
It's bliss. Stuart,
Yes.
but I do have an etiquette question for you.
Oh.
Because you always... maybe this is just me, but when I was a kid, I always thought you made your friends when you were young, and they stayed your friends your whole life. Like I sort of
Interesting you bring this up.
Is it?
Hmm.
Yeah, well, I thought you would have a tight group of friends. You'd all be mates. You know, you grow up together. You go to university or
Happy
like
times,
have your
sad
whatever.
times,
Happy
share
times,
your
sad times.
families.
And then you'd be
Partners.
old together and blah blah blah. But that's just not how my life's worked out. Like,
well,
really.
I'm so glad you brought this up, and
Right.
without notice too, which is the way we do it here.
Wait, what's notice? Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. What's planning? Because I had this exact same conversation with a friend 2 weeks ago,
Right.
and we were talking about a third party,
Right.
and he has a bit of a dodgy background, and people don't say a lot of nice things about him at times.
Okay. Right.
And my other friend who I was talking to said, "Well, have a look at him. He's got no old friends,
Right.
right? Nobody sticks with him or
Right.
for this or that reason." And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, Lozzie?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't you that I was talking to, Dazzy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got any old friends as well, and like school friends and the like.
Right.
But then over the course of a week, and as you know, I'm moving home, and I've been packing up memories and throwing out others and doing all sorts of things. And you look
Not
through
moving
photos.
home to your parents' house. You're moving houses.
Yes,
Yeah.
moving houses.
Yeah.
And with a house move comes the cull of associated junk.
Yes.
And I do have old friends.
Yeah.
But I did say at the time, you mightn't necessarily see them all the time or speak to them all the time,
No.
and that, but these aren't people that have ditched you in any way.
But I actually
It's
love
just
it.
Your
I
lives
love
take
it.
different paths.
But it always surprises me how when you see an old friend like that who you maybe haven't seen, and this is what, I remember telling you about the school reunion I went to. We all just went out and it was like you felt like yourself. You didn't feel like a different version of yourself or anything. You just felt like all these people know who I am. I know who they are. Maybe 15, 20, whatever it is, years have passed.
Yes.
And some of them have had crazy things happen in their lives. Some of them had really sad lives. Some of them had really successful lives. Whatever. There is still some kernel that is
The Colonel,
kernel.
hungry.
Stop it. There's still some deep-seated DNA, friendship DNA that is.
Well, there's a reason why, and not just because you like the same, Ninja Turtle that you bonded.
Well, that's it.
You know?
And I always thought that maybe like there are a few people that over the years I've thought, oh, maybe because we met when we were at school, and then they'd come into my life at various points, and they maybe wouldn't quite mesh. Like they'd be to this, or they'd be over the top, or they'd be nasty to someone who was a different friend of mine, or like whatever. Something would be slightly weird, and I'd think, maybe I was only friends with you because I was sitting next to you in maths. You know what I mean? But then
There is that too, though.
But which sometimes is the case. But more often than not, it'll turn out that that's just people figuring out how to exist in the world. And 10 years later, you totally understand why you're friends with them, and it's just been But friendship, the kind of what's the word? I don't know, ecosystem of like all of your friends.
Yeah.
Is a pretty interesting thing, because you've got the people that you see, the jackpot said to me last semester when he was studying, he said to me, I said, I'm not seeing any of my friends, because I was just in complete lockdown trying to exist and stuff. And he said, dude, the person I see the most, who's into someone I work with, is Stu Farrell.
Yeah.
And it is true that there are sometimes people that you
That's
see
good, right?
a lot. Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah.
And it's not that he was like, how bad is my life?
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to pick the good parts out of that
No,
statement.
no. It's just that so it's like with my friend Ali from work, or my friend Hannah from work, or whatever, from the law talking job that I did.
It's a long time ago now. I think you can stop calling it work.
Oh, well, true, yes. But, from the office that I was in. Then.
The office?
But the point is, those people were, and then you actually, because I met you at work and I met the Jackpot at work. We worked together on a show. And
Yes.
but all of those people you see.
We were thrown together. We didn't meet.
We were definitely
forced.
We were a case of really thrown together,
Yeah.
weren't we? Yeah.
Thrown.
And
We went splat.
yeah, you didn't like that one bit. And then
Just you and the Jackpot having a go at me this morning. What a great Tuesday.
Anyway, point is, I don't know what the point is. What was I saying?
Point is that you weren't seeing any friends. Jackpot came home and said, dude, all I see is Stu Farrell. You're going, well, that sounds like heaven to me. And then your next point was...
No, my next point was that often friendships are because you see somebody quite a lot. So that's how come I'm actually quite good friends with Ali and Hannah from the Law Talking Job, is because I saw a lot of them. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't have been friends with them if I'd met them in the street.
Well, you're on record of saying if we never worked together, you would never look at me twice.
I am not on record of saying
I think
that.
think a standard text I get from you at least once a week is, how are we friends? And I'm not saying that in like, oh, isn't it amazing sort of way. You're like, I do not, how do I even talk to an idiot like you?
Do you know what? It's a combination of the two. It's, oh my God, how are we, how is
okay,
this, it's beautiful.
There's a lot of brown icing going on these statements this morning, Lorin Clark.
Gross. Anyway, friendships, right? And also,
can't live with them.
In
can't
the
live without them.
Contemporary era, of course, you can't have a conversation about friendships without mentioning that a lot of them are. Well, yeah, that a lot of them are, kind of digitally. You're in touch because you're in this network where you can sort of know what they're doing and not know what they're doing, which people always roll their eyes about, which I think is quite a beautiful thing because it keeps you in touch with people. Anyway. Why was I telling you this? Oh, yes, because I've made some new friends in the last...
Oh, excuse me?
Well, I have. I've made some new friends as an adult.
Have you run them by me?
You get very, very...
There are certain rules here.
You're very jealous, don't you, of new friends?
I actually don't.
No, I know.
You have accused me of being a smotherer, but that's because I've accused you of being an arm's length, so that's your return fire.
No,
which
it's not
doesn't
the
have as
only
much
reason,
traction.
is it, really? You just did
here we go.
tell me off for being friends with someone. Anyway.
Who?
So I've got a few new friends, and I had an etiquette question regarding what was it? What was my etiquette question about? So you find a new friend, and you stop it.
Sorry.
You find a new friend. Stop it. He's mocking me. I'm not going there. Not telling the story anymore.
You find a new friend, and you keep them at arm's length.
No, if you find a new friend and there's a bit of... So it's a little bit like, hi, we're friends. Who makes the next call? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit of, the dating etiquette that everybody...
Not really.
Well,
no.
You don't, but because you're 100 and you've been...
I was always just... I'm like Mickey monogamous. Like, from about the age of 17, there was always like a chunk of someone there.
A chunk of someone. Sounds borderline homicidal, but sure.
Whenever I got hungry, I just opened that freezer.
Dude. Anyway, no, well, what I mean is that there's a kind of thing of like, somebody became friends with me, got my number, and she texted me and said, are you around? And I said no. And then because I wasn't, then the next time she texted, like I was literally out of town. The next time she texted me, I was in Bendigo. And I thought, oh no.
This person.
Now I've done 2 no. Now I've got to do 2 no's and 2 I'm out of towns. Like,
dodgy.
This is not good.
No,
and so there's a whole way that you have to kind of, spin those things. And then, of course, so what you have to do is quickly follow it up with a you free Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit of an art to doing things like that. Anyway, I can't remember the exact etiquette question I had for you, Stuart Farrell. So
no, I've got etiquette written down because that was going to be like the basis of this podcast.
We got carried away with talking about when you make friends in your life. Old friends. Maybe it was about old friends. Anyway, I don't know. Did I tell you that you remember how I told you my friends were all hanging out in London without me?
Yeah.
They're still doing it and they're still sending me photos. And
I'm
still jealous.
Well,
but at the same time, I need the photos. It's the opposite of... It's an Schadenfreude.
Annoyed and Freud.
Yeah.
Did we have Annoyed and Freud last week?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
I
annoyed
thought it
and
was
Freud.
another Freud.
No, it's annoyed and Freud.
Annoyed and Freud.
Yeah.
And what was the other word?
Disgustified.
Disgustified and Annoyed and Freud. Thank you.
That was the topic. They had the title of the show.
Oh, was it? I should have a look at it
Yeah,
occasionally.
you don't.
Where is it? Where can I find the show?
You can find. Are we getting out of here?
Well, we are, because it's just a short Lorin's
Okay.
Gap Week program. How can Jeffrey Dahmer get in contact?
So we're Stupidly Big, Stu. StupidlyBig.com. Stupidly Big on Facebook. Stupidly Big on Twitter. Don't send us any snail mail if you still have our mail
Still in
address.
contractual obligations. Obligations?
Obligations.
Obligations.
Excellent.
With
I
Australia
think what
Post.
you mean is negotiations anyway.
So we've got Annoyed and Freud, Obligations, and Disgustified.
Stuart, they can also find us at iTunes, the iTunes shop with a double PE, and we are there. You can give us a rating or a review. We greatly appreciate those. It's very nice to hear from people. This is, as Stuart has said, a bit of a quickie because it's a quick week.
Quick wait, little chunky ones.
Little chunky ones.
And back on the horse next Monday.
Big chunks. All right, Stu. It's been a pleasure. See you tomorrow.
I reckon.
Okay, bye-bye.